Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the Grow a Garden video. Today I'm going over literally everything you need to know about this new update, all the new pets and their abilities, all the new items, how the new fairy event part 2 is actually going to work, and just everything you need to know before the actual update so you know what you need to be prepared for when it actually comes out. If you enjoy this video, find it useful, just want to stay updated on all the best leaks, tips, tricks, and methods for Grow a Garden, don't forget to subscribe. At the end of this video, I'll also be talking about the state of Grow a Garden and what I think its future is looking like, so definitely stay tuned for that, and let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Alright, so first off, for those who don't know, the update we are getting on Saturday is going to be, who would have thought, a part 2 for the fairy event. That being said, we found this out on Wednesday when Grow a Garden made an official announcement in their Discord announcing that the update was going to be a part 2, and then we also got an event page for this fairy update with an image of basically all the new mechanics, crafting tables, NPCs we're going to be getting, as well as a short description saying we're getting new seeds, pets, gears, weather, as well as a fairy shop, which is interesting, and revamped daily quests. If you didn't already know, there's already a daily quest system in the game. In your garden guide, if you go to the daily quest section, you can see there's some daily quests which you can complete for 2 regular seed packs. The regular seed packs have always been really horrible, so maybe they're going to be giving us some better rewards, like some fertilizers or something like that, as well as the challenges have always been super easy, so maybe they'll make it harder. Honestly, I don't think it's something we really needed in the game, but that's fine. And besides that, it just seems like we're getting a second part to the fairy update, which really includes features that I think should have been in the first week of the update. I'll talk about this in a little bit as well. That being said, we have basically everything in this update leaked. I'll divide this into 2 parts. First off, we're going to go through the leaks in the Dawn Discord server. These guys are really fast when it comes to their leaks. Go ahead and check them out. Maybe even join if you want to stay updated on all of the best leaks for Grow a Garden. But we had a new exotic enchanted chest leaked. Here are all the items in the chest. So we had an image of all the items in the chest leaked. They're not going to look exactly like this. This is normally a more artistic version of the pets and seeds. But just like any other chest, we're getting 3 pets and 3 seeds. It looks like the best pet is going to be that phoenix pet in the middle, and this could be interesting depending on how good the phoenix pet is. The last 2 chests we have had have not been amazing because the pets in the chest and these seeds in the chest were not amazing. Future Loot Muffin here, we actually just got a massive leak for the chest and the ability of the phoenix. I'll talk about that in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. It actually does not seem like a horrible pet. We have the pet lead. This is probably going to work similar to a lead in Minecraft. If you didn't already know, basically you attach it around a pet's neck and then you can probably guide it around your garden. So for things like mooncats or just any proximity pet, maybe even capybaras, this could be really OP. You can maybe attach all of them to you and then drag them towards the same area and just keep them in the same area to hopefully have their abilities affect the same area. And this would be incredibly useful if mooncats and growing huge plants and getting Sheckles was a big important part of the game right now. But currently Sheckles are so easy to get. We also have a new mutation. It's going to be a luminous mutation, and it seems to be very similar to the glimmering mutation that we already have. And obviously with that mutation comes that mutation spray I showed on screen. Now we also have a new glimmering crate, so we're getting even more cosmetics. Not sure how much of a fan people are of cosmetics right now, considering we have to struggle to get extra cosmetic space. Even after the buffs they made to the total cosmetic items you can hold, I still have over 150 more. I literally have not been able to open cosmetic crates for 3 months because of how full my inventory is. And then last off, we have a Drake pet. Now I'm not really sure why this would be called a Drake pet. It looks like a dinosaur, and the meaning of Drake itself is supposed to be for a duck. So I really feel like the only reason they would name this the Drake pet is if there might be a possible collaboration between Grow a Garden and Drake the music artist. Now I don't know exactly how well Drake and his vibe is going to fit in with a children's game with a primarily very young audience, but we'll see if they actually do decide to go that route, and that might be a pet that we get during a Drake celebrity collaboration, just like we had one for the Flamingo and Travis Kelce events. Now we also have a pet name reroller leaked. Believe it or not, I didn't even know pets had names until now, but basically every pet does have a random name out of a preset list of names, and it looks like you can now re-roll the name that it has, and based on the item's name, it's just going to re-roll the name, which is unfortunate because I think we should really just be able to set our own custom names to pets, which would be such an easy and small change to make, so hopefully they do decide to go that route. That's everything from the Dawn Discord server, but Grow a Garden will update tonight, and everything that's going to be in the update will be in the game just hidden, so we probably will get a ton more leaks and a ton more info on exactly how everything's going to work, though I might make a video on those leaks tonight. We'll have to wait and see how much more info we actually get. Let's go ahead and switch gears and talk about the leaks that we got from another content creator. So these leaks come from Epter. Go ahead and check him out. He's a young content creator who actually somehow gets access to the updates every update before it comes out. I think he might have like an alt account in the tester server, or maybe a friend who's willing to send him screenshots. But in his recent TikTok video he made, he revealed we are getting a new crafting table. You can kind of see it in the event image from the event page on Roblox, but we are getting a new crafting table. And inside this crafting table, we can actually craft a ton of new items specific to the fairy event, including a fairy net and a fairy net version 2, which with the first one allowing you to catch fairies for fairy points, and the second one allowing you to catch a fairy and store it in your backpack, as well as get fairy points. And as you can see, both of these recipes are semi-simple. You do need a couple seeds, but the recipes are not too hard. Now you can also now craft a fairy radar, which if it works like any other radar, will probably allow you to collect fairies within a certain range, as well as a fairy targeter, which allows you to summon a fairy to your garden. And if you didn't already notice, it looks like fairies themselves are going to be a really important part of the second part of this update instead of the glimmering and luminous mutations. We also have a fairy collar, allows you to summon a fairy on the map, and a fairy power extender extends the duration of the next fairy wave. And then we have a luminous wand, which allows a fairy to use luminous instead of glimmering. And we have a fairy summoner, which summons a fairy wave. So we're going to have a new mechanic called fairy waves. And obviously we have that extender we mentioned earlier that's supposed to extend these waves, and it's all in an effort to collect fairies, which are going to be really useful for actually crafting these items. But it's also going to be incredibly useful for the new NPC and the way you can actually get the new enchanted chest rewards. Here on screen is the NPC, and as you can see, you can capture fairies, and for every 100 fairies you capture, that's how you get one of the enchanted chests. So 100 fairies, I feel like that might be actually a lot of fairies to collect, even though we have the fairy radar and fairy nets and stuff. So this chest might be a lot harder to obtain than the last few chests we've had, but we'll have to wait and see. We also had NPC birthdays leaked. We actually had this leaked like a week ago, but we weren't sure if it was actually going to be added. But now in game, it looks like you'll be able to see a NPC's birthday, and if you feed them on their birthday, you'll get a special reward. Here are the current birthdays, or what they should be, but they might actually change this, with the closest one being Raphael's birthday on October 30th. But I really do think these are probably going to change. However, we do know for Sam, if you donate to him on his specific birthday, which is currently July 2nd, the special reward you'll get is a pet incubator, which is pretty cool. Originally, this was going to be the end of the video, but we just got a massive leak from Epter for the 3 new pets in the chest and their abilities. So the common pet is going to be the Cardinal. All magic type plants grow 1.56 times faster. Seems pretty mid. Once this event's over, I don't think this will be a super useful ability. But then the next one, which seems a little more interesting, the Shroomy. All nearby plants within a 25 stud radius have increased 0.006x size bonus for every fungus type plant planted in your garden, and it maxes at 300. So I think if you have 300 of these, it should be like a 1.8 times size multiplier, which could be pretty decent. But keep in mind, if you have 300 fungus plants on your garden, you can't really use triceratopses to grow your bone blossoms or whatever you're actually trying to grow. So it might not even be too great to use, but we'll see. There might be a new method with that pet. However, the Phoenix, the 1%, seems to be okay, but just not too great for a 1% pet. Pets taken from the pet mutation machine have a bonus 1 to 4.89 age to their age value. Every 6 minutes, it travels to 4 random fruits in your garden and applies the flaming mutation. And then fruits passed also have a 20% chance to get mutated as well. The flaming mutation is probably going to be like a 50x or something semi-decent. However, it's basically just a glorified ostrich, but for the mutation machine. So technically, if you do have enough of these, you could possibly just infinitely mutate a pet, pull it out of the machine, have it be level 50 already, and just put it back in if you don't like the mutation. However, you're going to need like a full team of these phoenixes, and they're also going to have to be a decently high level. And honestly, just from how hard it seems to actually get a ton of these chests, I don't think that's going to be too obtainable for most players. So this pet, once again, does not seem too amazing for a 1% pet, especially if you need a ton of them for them to be actually useful. But let me know what you guys think about these pets and their abilities. Now, for those who don't know, the shekel trading has been re-enabled. However, there is a 10% tax on any shekels you trade. This is like the smallest possible band-aid they could have put on the biggest possible issue. I don't think this is going to do anything at all. I can still trade over my 1 sextillion shekels to an alt account and keep 90% of it. What's the point? Now, they also did apparently nerf the Racoon a little bit. You cannot fill up your inventory past your inventory limit. Why was that even in the game in the first place? I don't know how that was in the game for so long. People were able to fill up their inventories way past the capacity limit and AFK for literal days and just come back to like 1,000 plants in their inventory. And then it seems like they did also nerf the cooldown just a little bit. It's not nearly as impacted by the pet's age as it used to be. So some small nerfs to the Racoon, and Sheckle trading is back, but I still don't really think that's impacting the big issues with Grow a Garden. But that is basically everything we know so far about this update. Obviously, every Friday night, we always get a ton more leaks. So if there's a ton more interesting leaks that I think you guys want to know about, I'll definitely post another video. But what do you guys think about these pets and their abilities? And what do you guys think about this update? I'm really curious to hear your opinions. But before I go, I do just want to quickly talk about Grow a Garden and the state of Grow a Garden. It does seem like the game is dying. And it seems like you guys are also realizing this. A week ago, I made a post asking if the game's dying. Here are the results. It seemed like over 50% of you guys thought the game was doing fine. However, just yesterday I made the same post and only 30% of you guys think the game is fine, and the majority of you guys think the game is dying. So yes, school is in session, players are leaving Roblox to go to school. However, just looking at the stats between the big three games, well, Grow a Garden is the only one showing a significant decline in average players, and it's struggling to stay even in the top 2 games, with 99 Nights clearly outshadowing it, with almost always having double the player count as Grow a Garden, which was unthinkable even just a month ago. Now, I think this is due to a ton of things. The overall game itself just isn't the same. Farming Sheckles, getting big plants and stuff just really is not worth it. And there's not really much to work towards. The Ascension system is incredibly annoying and takes so long to even get one upgrade. The achievements are super annoying and don't give great rewards. And the events we've had are either way too easy or way too hard to just get mediocre pets. So currently, I'm even feeling the fatigue. I don't even know what to do in this game anymore. But hopefully they can realize that the community is very unsatisfied and possibly change some things. That being said, that's literally everything you need to know about this new update. I highly doubt there will be any other surprise leaks or any other features that weren't mentioned in this video. What do you guys think about this update? What do you guys think about the pets? And just let me know your overall opinion of what is happening to Grow a Garden. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you all have an amazing day and good luck gardening.